guys, got a quick knife review here for you. This is the Benchmade 53. This particular knife is on loan from Knifezoid, and I wanted to thank him for that. Got to carry this around with me and use it, get to know it, and really kind of experience the knife firsthand. And that was a treat because I was interested in this knife, not from a Balisong standpoint, but for utility purposes. That's actually how I first got into Balisongs, was using them just as an EDC. I've never been a big fan of folders. Aesthetically, I don't like you know, the 3-inch blade, the wider blade. I liked the 4-inch ratio. You know, the 4-inch blade, thinner profile. I like the dagger look. I also was, you know, in high school at the time, and I've always had a knife on me, and it's never been an expensive one. It's always been something cheap, and Balisong doesn't have any problem with locking up. And some of the other ones I'd use, after using them a while, the locking mechanisms would wear out, or they would, you know, not quite catch all, engage all the way. And so that was a nice feature. I never had to worry about it. So Knifezoid's already done a pretty extensive review on this. I'm going to hit some highlights, some of the things I liked and disliked aesthetically and functionality, and we'll kind of get in there. And to start off, I really did like, from aesthetic purposes, the knife is okay. It's not my favorite. Like I said, I like the longer. I don't like, the blade's not too fat for my taste. I used to have an old Smith & Wesson Millennium SWAT edition or something like that, and it had a nice, pretty big blade, about, you know, yay big, and it was okay. But it was what made me want to switch over to something like that. But this is okay. It's a little bit small. I found at first, when I first pulled out of the box, I was like, wow, that is really small. And after using it a little bit, carrying it on me and just kind of letting it do its thing, it's not that bad. It's adequate. It definitely is adequate. Benchmade was going for an alternate. They're not really going for a Balisong. They're trying to give you an alternate to a folder, and I think they nailed that. I don't know if they're going to sell a whole lot of them, because I don't know if they're going to pull that many people from folders, and the Balisong community really wanted to flipper, but where this knife does not meet our flipping desires, the fit and finish on this was great. I kind of gave the handles a good look over, so you can kind of see some of the design, just the different textures on the G10. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's, you know, it holds up well. I've taken the 51, it's my EDC. I've taken that to the pavement and left marks on the pavement. I mean, it's just a solid material. I do like the latch, this little pin design. It's just something different, just not your cheap Jaguar or something that you got off, you know, off a flea market or stand somewhere. The blade is the key part. This is what had me really interested. It's D2 steel, like the 51, but they coated it with some sort of material. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but my biggest complaint on this guy has been, I'm in South Carolina, and it's always humid. This corrodes a lot. I get a lot of corrosion built up onto it. I've got to clean it, got to wipe it down. It really is kind of a maintenance nightmare, or at least for me, because I don't like to do things like that. This was great. I really found myself at the end of it, you know, my experience with this. I would much rather beat up on this blade than that guy. As you see here, it's a very functional blade. It is razor thin. I mean, they really get it down. I mean, it's a great edge. The D2 holds a, you know, an awesome edge, and it won't, you know, it just doesn't dull out in a week or such. And I'm not using demanding tasks like I used to use when, you know, put a knife through. It's mostly cardboard boxes and envelopes and stuff. This is definitely up to anything I, you know, have for it. One of the things I did not like about it, with the short handles, when I use a knife, I'll just deploy it, start going to what I want. The short handles and not having any weight down here, I ran into that problem. And if I get it, I have to really crank my hand back, and I'm back, you know, I'm not choked up on the handle. Because of this little piece here in the file work, I really want to hold the knife like this, and I found that I could not really get that a comfortable deploy. But you know, the bearing system they got here, the light handles, I end up just doing a double rollout. Like I said, it's not usually my style to go nice flashy rollout to open a cardboard box, but it works. You know, it is a Balisong, and that's what you do with it. You flip it. So I found it. I got used to it. Wasn't a big fan of that. Not sure what purpose this notch serves. Perhaps if you're cutting a steak or stabbing a zombie, it'll keep your finger from slipping forward on the blade. The file work, I think, was a little more of a novelty than it really was useful. I'm sure there'd be a time, you know, that I would want it, you know, like that zombie or, you know, zombie apocalypse or something. I'm sure I'd really, you know, be happy with this file work, but it's a little bit small, and I personally did not ever find that I went to a good position on it. This, like I said, here's my usual, this is my desired holding on, and I would be a little bit far, or be too far up on it, and I want to slide my thumb back a little bit. It just wasn't great, and so I kind of learned to ignore it and just not use it. Like I said, my natural tendency was always to go to this, and here in this position, it fits nicely in my hand. Wasn't going to complain. I was going to complain about it, but it's adequate. It's not what I'd like. I would much prefer something that fills out my hand. I've got a little room to play with. I think you just saw on Knifezoid, he showed the comparison between the 51 and the Mayhem in this. Two different things. This is half the price. It's about half the size as well. I never bothered to latch it. Now it feels very, very firm, very sturdy. Any plastic impressions you might have from the knife goes away immediately when you latch it up. I found myself not really bothering to latch it for the tasks I needed to use it for. Like I said, the fit and finish on it is great. I think they really nailed it. It's been around the circuit. Knifezoid had it. He used it extensively, and he passed it on to Eric from Blade Forums, and I've had it. And they did have to Loctite. They both said they Loctited the pivots down. I did not have to. I added a little bit of lube just recently to it, but it's been a great knife. I've been very impressed. The one thing I would say, first thing I noticed when I got it out, is if you see here, I'll try to focus it in. There's two little notches where the tang has worn through from latching it. I was kind of I wasn't sure what to think about that. I wasn't too impressed, just because I haven't had any problem with the G10 on the 51, and from a manufacturer standpoint, there were no blemishes, and then within a month or so of the knife's existence, it's already starting to wear out from the tang. But it does lock up really secure. It's not like it's coming out either open or closed. Well, I guess it came out there, but I never felt like it was if I squeeze it, it's going to pop out. So overall, I was very impressed with the fit and finish. The blade really won me over. I loved the grind they had on this guy. It's very smooth, flat, and you really have to see this knife to appreciate it. The blade was very impressive. I think you're getting a lot of knife for $118, $153. You're not really getting a Balisong though. The pocket clip was great. It worked. It was an adequate user knife. Like I said, I would definitely consider using that over my 51. Not sure, not on my buy list anytime soon, but I was won over. I think, unfortunately, I think you're paying a lot for that stamp right there, a little Marlowe stamp. It is a nice knife, it really is, but you're not really getting a Marlowe Balisong, and not even really getting a Benchmade Balisong. It's kind of a punch to the gut. Benchmade collaborated with Marlowe, and we got that. But like I said, after using it for a little bit and get to know it, I do appreciate the knife, and I can appreciate the design and thought that went into it. I think they could probably go for more of a dedicated flipper next time. So give it something else. But I would recommend this knife if you're not wanting to drop, $100, almost $200 for the for 51, $250 for Mayhem. You just like Balisongs, or you want something different from an everyday folder. Like I said, it's a really nice price point. You're getting a lot of knife. I would vouch for its durability. There's not much to go wrong on it, unless the pivots came loose and the bearings came out. But so the G10, I've abused mine. I'm really bad about taking care of knives, and I've abused this knife, and it's held up. I think the 53 would also stand the test of time. The D2, obviously, is a very tough tool grade steel, and it's done well. Benchmade's been using it, and this coating here, I think that was the icing on the cake. That's what I would want to need to see. The 51, I found myself complaining about that. Nothing else. It's just that blade. I've actually had mine replaced. This past summer was just a very humid summer, and could not get the corrosion out of it. Could not keep up with it. So that's it. That's my wrap up. I hope it helped. I know it's not a knife that everyone looks forward to and is super excited about, but I think it's worth looking into. maybe not a knife. Like I said, it's not on my buy list right now. Maybe I'll find one used from someone and check the marketplace and things like that. But I was impressed with the knife. I'm glad that I got to use it and got to carry it. So hope you guys enjoy.